Okay, we are the 26th of December. I'm going to do a very full, in-depth walkthrough today. This one's going to be a little bit slower. There will be time codes, timestamps in the description if you want to skip to the particular section that you want to go through, but I'm just pointing out this will be a slightly longer video. So if you or your team want to know exactly how to use Maprint, this is the training video that's going to show you. Now, the idea with Maprint is that we're 100% web-based and it's simple. So we have an awful lot of functionality packed into a few simple tabs, and it makes life super simple. No hardware, no nothing. And our system can connect to any printer, full stop. And I do mean any printer. And I'll go through how, if your printer for whatever reason isn't listed, you can actually go to our website and there's an instruction on exactly how to connect any printer. So I do want to clarify, we are good to go. There's quite a lot in our database, hundreds of thousands, but if for any reason, we can connect to any device. And ultimately, our system is comprised of four main tabs: client locations, and there's printers in those client locations. We can measure the usage of the printers in those client locations, and we can now do cloud printing from the usage of the printers in those client locations. So when you first log in, you're going to be presented with this screen. And you can see the name of your company up here. You can go to settings and we can change those settings if that's really what we want. But I'm in an admin account, so it's going to make life lovely and difficult. Thank you so much for that. And when we go back to our clients, the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to add a client. Okay, now a client's basically a location. So if I have one client in 3 different locations, I'll actually be setting up 3 client locations. So let's just say this is the office on 23rd Street. I don't know, something like that, no problem. Create. Now I could call that Isaac, I could call that user number 2, I could create one and I could call it Keith. There's my location. Done. Now, once I create that, I have my name. Now I have a status, and the status is telling me, please share the setup link. So in here, we're going to see setup links, and I can share it with email, Gmail, I can share it with WhatsApp, or I can just copy the link and download it straight off. And if I share this with any one at the client location, they can download this exe file on any computer connected to the IP, connected to the network, and this will install, and it's all automatic. And when that installs, what it's going to do is it's going to automatically load this up, and this will automatically start scanning. Okay, now what this application is going to do, also known as the client-side application, is this is now connected on the IP. It's searching all my networks and all my printers. Okay, and I can manually type this in. I can manually change anything. I can manually add anything, but just let it automatically go looking for anyone and everything. And I'm using a dedicated router today for this demonstration because I need quick internet, so obviously it's not going to pick much up. But it has picked one printer up from this network, and here is the printer. It's a Brother MFC. We can see the IP, we can see the last scan date, we can see all the details about it. And now if I go back, I'm going to be able to see that one printer is online and it's user 1, and there it is. So again, let's put these side by side. This is user 1. Okay, and I can see user 1 is online. So this is in whatever client location I want it to be. This is here, and literally in those 2 steps, we are now connected to every single printer in our locations just like that. That can be done in 30 seconds. I can see when the last scan was 6 hours ago. Well, I just did one right now, so let's do a refresh. Okay, and now it's refreshing, and now it's telling me, well, you scanned a few seconds ago, because it knows I scanned a few seconds ago. So when did I create these? What's the status? It's been downloaded by the customer, but they never installed it. You see now, this one says please share setup link, but this is telling me please install. It's been downloaded. So it knows that I've downloaded this. It's wondering what's going on. So you're going to know if your client locations have downloaded it. They can't say, well, we didn't get it. It's like, hang on, I see you downloaded it. Just install it. And that's all that needs to happen. I can rename this anytime I want just by going here and the pencil icon, and I can rename it. So let's say I want to call this, instead of user 1, let's call it Maprint user 1. M-A-P or I-N-T user 1. And I update this. And now I'm going to do a refresh just to update the cache. And now I'm going to come down here and I'm going to open this back up. Okay, give me a nice little screen here. And now I'm Maprint user 1. Everything is connected. Okay, and if I change it on anywhere, it changes. So that's sort of the bare fundamentals, okay, of setting up clients. And a couple more things I want to show you. Column visibility. So we see different columns here, and these columns can be moved around. You're in control of what you see and how you see it. And I can turn it on and off. So if I want to see the token, if I want to see what's connected, if I want to see the OS, now everything is showing. But I don't really care what operating system. I really don't care what version. I don't care about the token. I don't really care on the connection because I see status. So why would I want to see that? It was restarted 10 days ago. That doesn't really bother me. The model. Do I want to see the model? Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Manufacturer, again, Dell, not important because I've got a couple coming in. So you can switch these on and off and only see the data that you want to see. And this is super easy, super personal. And I can export this anytime I want. And then I can sort by these different ranges and parameters. So maybe I want to see who has the most printers. Okay, so that's a quick overview into clients. And then printers is set up in the very, very same way. Okay, column visibility. I can switch on and off what I want. Do I want to see any of this information? Do I want to see my A3 prints? Do I want to see my A4 prints? Do I want to see anything else? Do I want to have custom name, location, and remarks? I just switch them on. So my name, printer 2, it's in the hallway. I can, again, click here, and I can put my remarks in. So, I don't know, wonderful, wonderful printer. And let's spell it wrong just for good measure. Okay, and I can change the model name, serial number, but why would I do that? So I can organize everything, and again, I can move things around, I can turn on and off, I can export, I can check my visibility. I am in total control of everything. And I can go in here and I can see a little bit more detail about what's going on. I can see exactly what's happening. Okay, now I just set this one up with one I have underneath my desk for this example. And this is active right now. But let's just say I wanted to make this inactive. I can press this button and make it inactive because maybe you have 200 devices and maybe a handful of them are inactive. So just make certain ones inactive. And now I have no printers in active. But I have one printer in inactive status. But let's make this active again. Okay, so again, just click here and it's active. And that's been activated. Now I go back to what's active. So I can actually see what clients I have, what locations, and I can see out of my clients what printers are active and inactive. And you can see just how simple this is. I can see all my informations and I can customize this the way I want. Now comes on to usage. I can build usage reports. So I want to know in, let's say, what last week was printed out of Maprint user 1. And I can literally just type in Maprint user 1. I can type in brother. I can type in anything I want. This is fully dynamic. And now I can build a report right here, export it, and send it straight to my clients. I can send it by client locations. I can send it by full clients. I can send it by anything I want. And again, I can organize this any way I want. And of course, column visibility. What do they need to see? Well, they need to see the blocks. Okay, they need to see maybe the totals. Maybe they don't need to see the first total, the last total, and the totals. The IP, the serial, the model. Okay, maybe I don't want to give them all of this, so maybe I just switch all this off. Okay, maybe that's all. Maybe, hang on, scanned as well. And now I'm just showing them and building a report on what I want them to see. So now let's get on to cloud printing and user management. And cloud printing and user management basically means that you can print and scan from anywhere to anywhere. So if I'm sitting with clients and they want to see the contract, I can call someone in the office and say, do me a favor, load the contract into the printer. And I can press my scan button and I can have a perfectly scanned copy there and then on my phone. It also means that if I have, let's say, a workspace or a company where I have users, I have 6 employees, or I have 15 people in the workspace, I can actually assign each of them an account super simply and set limits. And I know exactly who's printing what. I can see what they're printing, so I'll know, is it personal, is it business? Now, you don't have to have this feature on in workspaces and other places if security is an issue, but we can also keep track of what they're printing. Is it personal? I have a school, for example, and the principal wanted to know, are they printing business, personal stuff that they shouldn't be printing in school, or is it only lesson plans? So I'm going to show you all that functionality now in the next couple of minutes. First things first, we have to activate it. Okay, so we go here and we turn on cloud printing. Now, once cloud printing is on, what we're going to have is a QR code. Now, this is how we start to activate and connect it to an app. Okay, so if first thing that we're going to note here is that there's income and scans, and is it idle, and what's happening with it. So just to explain that, there's 2 forms. One is public and one is private. Now, if you're in a business where you want your employees to have access, this is going to be private. If, however, you're in, let's say, a library and you want public people to be able to come up and load up money and load up credit and start using, and you earn from that way, well, then we're going to make it public. Okay, or in a college campus or something like that. So we have all wallets and everything integrated, but for today's video, we're going to leave it on private, and I'm going to update that. And now, if we go back here, we're going to notice that Maprint 1, we have printers, we have usage, they have column visibility, they have export, the exact same as functionality as you saw, and they also have managed print. And this QR code, if we scan this right here, okay, well, I'm just going to take this here, Control C, I'll show you that in a bit. Now you'll be able to connect to an app on your smartphone or app mapprint.com. You can open up this on a desktop. So we have access both. We have access both, okay? And you're going to be able to set up an account. So what we're going to do here is we can set up a user. Let's set up someone with a phone number, a name, and what group they're part of. Now, obviously, my name is Keith. I've been set up before. And now we can see how many prints Keith has made. Are they black? Are they color? I can keep track of all my prints. And if I go back here again, all I can do on the manage side is just keep track of my users. But the client side, the company, they can now keep track of their clients, because as a managed service provider, you may not need to see that. And as a workspace manager, maybe you don't need to see everyone and everything here, but on the client-facing side, you can see it. So that's why it's designed this way. And again, we can make reports and we can assign them groups and limits. And now I'm brought in here. Okay, so what can I do with this window? Well, firstly, I can see a history of everything that I've printed. I can see my wallet. Okay, if I'm a customer and I want to print in, I don't know, a library or anything, I can check the globe to see where all my prints are. And how do I connect all this? So whether I'm on the desktop or whether I'm using my phone, I have to scan a code. Okay, and let's go back here to our QR code. Let's copy this again. And let's type this in. And the printer code. And there we go. And now I'm connected to that printer that we just saw. And I can scan, I can copy, I can print. My printer's online. It's my brother MFC L2701DW, L21DW. And now if we scan something, if we print something, if we copy, it is now going to track me. Okay? And that's how simple everything is. Just in a couple of short minutes, I can save, I can delete, we can add files, I can upload files from anywhere to anywhere. There's me looking all wonderful, doing a nice scan job. And that's the whole system. It really is that simple. So in 4 simple tabs are client locations to have printers that we can make usage reports from. Then we can do cloud printing. Cloud printing enables us from a client side to update every 24 hours or anytime we press this button, all the print jobs on those client locations. Our clients can see the prints and printers so that they can't complain or claim something that didn't happen. They can make their own usage reports if they ever want to know what's happening. They can review what's managed in cloud and use that. And then they can set up as many users as they want that can have access both on their smartphone and on their desktop, laptop, anything they want. And we can even create groups, user groups, okay, based on policies. And policies are basically print limits. Do they have 100 prints per month? Do they have 1,000 prints per month? Do they have unlimited? Do they have a certain number? Okay, that is the entire system. If there's any questions, my name is Keith. I run the growth department here at Maprint. Please let me know.